That's the voice of the Laval Rocket, Shaun Campbell. Listen to him weekdays on TSN 690, your home for Montreal Canadiens hockey. 10-2 with Mitch Gallo. Talking about Laval, let's talk about David Reinbacher. You've been up and close watching this guy play. He's gotten into now 7 games with the Laval Rocket, right? And we're talking about a guy who more or less is a plus player. We're talking about a guy who's shown toughness. Watching him not back down with Xavier Perron the other day, or last week, I should say. Cross-checking battle. From what I've read, and I'm curious for you to expand on this, seems like a fun guy. He's got a smile on his face. I don't think he takes himself too seriously, but then he gets very serious on the ice. Watching David Reinbacher so far, 3 points after 7 games. I'm curious, for those that don't get to see him as often as you have, talk to us about David Reinbacher.
Every time I see him, I like him.
Oh boy.
I don't know if there's a time where I have not seen him live and walked away going, ugh. Like, never. He stands out. He moves out there. He takes the ice when it's in front of him. He's not scared to make a hard pass. The other day, he released a shot from the point, and it was like a half clapper, not a full.
Right.
Quick release, center point, and he missed the net, and it hit the boards, and it was so loud. There was so much weight. It was, when you say someone has a heavy shot, it was oof. Good thing that didn't hit the goalie. And I know that goalies are fine, and everybody has heavy shots nowadays, but there's certain shots that feel heavier. Shea Weber had a heavy shot. Not always the hardest shot, but I had a heavy shot. And Reinbacher has a heavy shot. I walked away going, God, once he gets used to taking those shots in those situations, penalty kill, power play with Laval, I don't know if that'll ever happen at the NHL level, but Reinbacher, I am pleasantly surprised that someone coming off a knee injury like that looks so smooth.
Yeah.
You know how we had to wait and be patient game in and game out on Kirby Dach coming off his knee injury.
Yeah,
and you're like, just be patient.
The excuse, excuse.
It's our excuse. It's everything you want. But at the same time, I think I watch him and I go, are you sure this guy had a knee injury? And there's a lot of confidence with the puck, but he's playing AHL level. I would not be shocked if I saw him play a couple NHL games this year. And I don't think that was initially part of the plan. But I would not be shocked if I see him play a couple NHL games, depending what happens to Laval and with the Canadiens and the standings.
Well, stop there then, because I mean that's fascinating for me. Because what's the scenario in which he plays for the Canadiens? Are the Canadiens out of the fight, or are they really like they are now in the fight major? Like after Friday's deadline, I think we can rule Boston out of the fight. I think we can rule the Islanders out of the fight, the Flyers out of the fight. Scott Lawton's gone, Brad Marchand's gone, and down the list we go. Brock Nelson to the Avalanche, right? So big moves by those teams behind Montreal. So what is that scenario? What scenario would you want it to be? In the fight, Reinbacher, or out of the fight, give him reps?
Okay, so there's two scenarios that I could see happening. One, Canadiens are out of the fight. And it comes down the stretch. Let's see what Reinbacher's got for a couple games.
Yeah.
At the NHL level, the guy's been with our club all year. He's our draft pick. That's scenario number one. Out of the fight, middle of April, plays 2 games, then goes back to Laval. That's a situation. You could look at the schedule. Oh, we have 2 games. They have nothing. We'll give them some games.
Right.
The second one is the scenario where there's an injury. And there's been a couple games since, I've been in Laval. I walked out of the game Friday night against Rochester in the battle for first place.
Yep.
And said David Reinbacher was the Canadiens' best defenseman.
Hey now.
And then on Wednesday, he was the best defenseman.
Dude, that was his 6th game. And before that was his 5th game.
In that game. There's Logan Mailloux played really well on Wednesday as well. And you can have these debates of what you want. But I understand Mailloux is a guy that's knocking on the door. And I think he has all the talent to be in the National Hockey League. But if there's an injury on the right side, and you can knock on wood all you want about a Carrier or a Struble or a Savard, but there's still 20 games left in the season. Someone gets hurt. They may choose Reinbacher over Mailloux.
You see first pair? When it hits, when he's done with the AHL, Is this the number one right side defenseman of the Montreal Canadiens?
I'm definitely not ruling it out.
Right. I don't
I
disagree with
could sit
that.
here and declare it, but he hasn't played a game in the NHL just yet. But I would not rule it out.
I mean, the right side of it. I mean, everybody covets right side
Yeah.
defensemen, big time. That's why people in this market like, oh yeah, I'll trade. Give me
Yeah.
Noah Dobson. I want Noah Dobson. I want Noah Dobson. Like,
Yeah, that's why I gave my son a right-handed stick.
good man. I was a right-handed defense. I had a Jeff Bukaboom stick.
Yeah,
back in the
did
day.
your dad try and get you to throw lefty as a pitcher?
No, I believe my father messed me up because I think, truth be told, I think I should be left-handed. I really do, especially as a hockey player, not as a golfer. As a hockey player, I should have been a
Yeah.
left-handed player. But on the right side, I mean, the Canadians look. I mean, dare I say, they're starting to put together a dangerous-looking team. But guys, I know there's a long way to go. But guys got to hit, from Logan Mailloux to David Reinbacher to Caden Gooley, Lane Hudson. It looks like a completely different player out of the Four Nations break. Is this an area of strength of the Montreal Canadiens? Their 6/7 defensemen in the next couple of years?
Yeah, those guys might be, those are the better teams. When you have
Yeah,
your third pairing, it's a bunch of guys that should be in a top pairing.
right.
That's exactly when you have a third pairing. You go, oh well, if someone gets hurt, I have a guy that plays
Right.
18 minutes a night, because teams prefer this. They prefer to go top pairing, 22 minutes, middle pairing, 20 minutes, bottom pairing, 18.
Yeah.
But the ones that
Yeah.
are skewed are 26 minutes, 20 minutes, and 12 to 14 minutes. But teams prefer, if they could go 20, 20, 20, depending on special teams, because you have your power
Right.
play and your penalty kill guys. But for the most part, teams and coaches would tell you, if I could go 22, 20, 18, be an ideal world.
Do you think Mailloux and Reinbacher competing for the same minutes and the same job?
At the NHL level,
Yes.
next year maybe. Next year. I think long term, there's a path for both of them. But next year, looking at the way that the Canadiens are constructed, it may be one or the other.
Right.
Again, you don't want to walk into next year as a Canadiens team that wants to be better and have two rookies on your blue line in Reinbacher and Mailloux, a second-year guy in Lane Hudson, a rookie up front in Demidov, a rookie in the middle in Owen Beck, and let's throw a cap in it. You might have 5 more rookies on the team. That's very rare. So there's probably one or the other.
That's the voice of the Laval Rocket, Shaun Campbell, on TSN 690 weekdays from 10 to 2 with Mitch Gallo. It's Campbell v. Gallo. Shaun Campbell, thanks as always, my man. Great stuff. Everybody enjoys your perspective, and it's nice to talk about the AHL and the Canadiens farm team on the come up and looking for bigger and better things. And we'll be listening to you, call all the action, and of course, enjoying you on TSN 690, 10 to 2 with Mitch Gallo. Shaun, thanks as always for the time.
Thanks. Always love it. Love being in Laval. Get to be there all month of March with all the games.
Yay!
The whole time.
Enjoy Saint Martin, Centropolis, and the beautiful Laval. Thanks, Shaun.
Have a good one.